find common ground. So you need to try to find something, like when you're walking, be very observant, going through the house. See what their hobbies are. Look at their kids. If you see grandchildren, people love grandchildren. So always say, oh, you have your grandchildren, they're beautiful. Or don't make sure if it's not their kids. Say, oh, your family's beautiful. So yeah, don't insult them. It doesn't work. Just say, just kind of say, oh, I love your family, they're gorgeous, or whatever. Make it good, da-da-da. But you want to get the rapport going. You want to open them up. But now this is when you have to know what you're going to be saying. So all of you that are new, get to know all the scripts. I know Dave does Mike's Ferry, so he knows them all. Like, you need to know, what methods have you been using to try to sell the house? Where'd you move from? How long have you lived here? How did you happen to pick this area? See, these are the importance of the scripts that I have, everything. There's a million of them. You need to know all the things to ask. You could go on forever, but memorize and read those every single day for 30 days if this is what you're going to do. All the questions that you can ask, so they're just popping in your head. Like, I know what to ask. Like, I'll be going through the house. But the biggest thing I want to be asking is motivation, motivation, motivation. Nobody knows this. This is the only thing you care about. If the people aren't motivated, you could put like a C on the listing. Now, if they say, okay, well, we really only have 30 days and we have to have this listing because we got to be in Chicago, we got to transfer, ding, 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 ding. That is something that you really want to, you're going to be trying to stay there, trying to build as much rapport as possible at that point, because that's going to be a prime listing. So this is a wonderful thing with the inventory sheet, and to get you in to kind of talk. Make sure you don't try to close them for the listing, because this isn't going to be appropriate unless they are asking you some of the questions that you know that they want that. Then of course you don't say, oh, I don't want to do that. Then you need to close. So you guys got to know when to close. If they're begging for help and they start asking you, like, what do you think my house is worth? And all these questions, and realtor questions, and you could say, I'd be happy to sit down with you and go over all the things that I do to sell houses. Maybe you can pick up some ideas, and then if when you're ready to put the house on the market, you'll have to be ready. You'll know exactly what I do. So know exactly what to say and when to say it. Also, these are other things. What do you do for a living? How long have you been in that line of work? That'll give you a little idea. How long have you been in the field? And what do you do on the weekends? Do you have any hobbies? I really wouldn't go right into what do you do on the weekends? Do you have any hobbies? I would be looking for things that are hobbies in the house. Things that are going to you have to be observant. Things that are going to get a conversation started. If you see a surfboard, oh, you surf? Oh, where do you surf? And try to get them to talk about it, because people love to talk about themselves. So you need to trigger things for them to talk about themselves, and then they think that you're great. Because a perfect example, my husband, he is great listening. Like I don't know if you know if he's a great listener. He just lets people talk. So by the time of the conversation, they love him so much because they've talked so much. And usually, I sometimes have to always cut myself down a little talking and say, okay, you got to listen more. And I've become very good over the years on it. But people love to talk about themselves, so they think that you're great. When you don't say anything, they think you're great because they've told so much about them that they're so happy that you know all about them now. So you want to do the same thing. You want to be able to ask questions to open them up. Not that you're the greatest realtor, you sell all the houses, RE/MAX is the best. They don't care. They want to, maybe you'll have a point to tell them a little bit about RE/MAX and things like that. They know RE/MAX already. That's the good thing being it with RE/MAX. So let them know that you're on their side. You're going to help them either sell or get the job done. So once you're inside, sure.
Sometimes they ask, how long have you been doing this?
It seems like forever.
Okay. Because in my case, and I believe some of the newer agents, it's like,
well, if they ask you that, then you're not showing enough confidence, to be honest with you, because they never ask me that anymore. So you have to show a lot of confidence. I think it just comes with confidence that they know. If you're walking in there a little bit unsure, they're going to be all over that. If you walk in there confident and they ask you that, just say, oh, God, it seems like forever, and try to change the subject. And then if not, say, well, my team, probably over 100 years of experience. Not probably, over 100 years. So you got to use, you don't want to lie, but you're not lying. You're saying my team. You're saying it's, you know what? So if they really come down to it, you're going to have to give them the honest answer. I would try to avoid it. First, if you're new, but if they ask you straight out, and you have to be honest. Once you break that honesty barrier, I don't care people never trust you and they're never going to want to do business with you.
I was asked because this lady said she wouldn't do it. She said, oh, I always want to be a realtor and I've been thinking about it. I'm like, I think you should try. Why not? What I'm going to say.
Yeah. And then she said,
It's
how long
not
you
for
been doing it?
everybody. And then she asked me how long I was in business. I'm like, oh, it's been a while.
Yeah.
And I said, oh yeah, you should try.
Just
It's
seems
not
to-
for
it seems like
everybody,
forever.
but it's a nice way to meet people. You get, you're gonna see beautiful houses if you like that kind of thing. And I change the subject and I move on into.
Yeah, so you have to be really good at changing the subject. Like I
Yeah.
would have been like, oh, it seems like forever. Then just like go on to something else, talk
Oh
about the
yeah,
house.
that's
But
what I did.
that isn't an easy question, but you'll be over it. Once you have a few years under your belt, you'll never be asked again, unfortunately. You'll be like wanting to tell them, they're not gonna ask you anymore. Just bring it on.
Doing this forever, please.
Don't remind me, it makes me feel old.
If you
Okay.
ask me again, I'm going to have to kill you because you have to figure out my age.
Now, this is a little bit, I have a little bit, because this says it's required by the state, it is required a disclosure, disclosures are required by the state, but a seller's disclosure really is required by the state. But they ask them, have you prepared a seller's disclosure? And they say, what's that? Because they probably have it. And then that's when you can hand it to them. And then, you can just say it tells it pretty much the history and the condition of the house. And then if they say, they just say, well, my house is fine, then you could say, well, by law, if there's any defects of the property, you have to disclose it to the buyer. That's true. So I wouldn't use it what they say, that the state law requires you to provide a buyer with a copy, because that isn't true. So I don't, like I said, I don't train to do anything that I don't feel isn't correct. But the correct information on that is that almost all buyers want that at when you go into contract, because they want to have a copy of that. And state law does require, if there's things wrong with the house that you know about, that you tell and let them know. So this just helps you in the process of selling your home, that you can provide this. So then you're going to give that to them, and then they say later on, they say, do you want me to provide you some copies so you can give them to the buyers? Which is very nice. So I mean, that's another way back into the house. So that's your goal, is to kind of keep going back. So closing the initial visit, and this shouldn't take you long. I mean, this should be like a 20-minute process. The other follow-up things I'm going to teach you, you're going to have the car running. So it's going to be just a quick in and out, like 5-minute thing to be doing the follow-up, but they're going to see you and they're going to start to have a relationship with you. Closing the initial visit, basically that's all you're going to do, and you're going to say, I really appreciate you allowing me the opportunity to view your home, and I wish you great success in the sale. I'd like to touch base with you weekly so I can keep the information on your home up to date. Would that be okay? And I can make you copies of the seller's disclosure and copies of the inventory sheet if you'd like them to pass out to buyers. And if you ever need anything, just give me a call. Simple. You're done. We've already done that. So then, from there, you're going to go back, you're going to send the thank you card, and I have them all in the package, exactly this exact number 1 thank you card. Thank you for letting me view, da-da-da-da. So visit number 2 that you're going to go over, and you're going to go give them what I gave you, was the first part of 100 ways to sell your home fast. So you're going to take those, you're going to customize those to be with you, about you. Does everybody have it? Okay. We're going to customize those, and we're going to just drop that off, and then you're going to just go back and just say, how did everything go this week? Let them start, because that's the best thing to say, oh, we had nobody. Then you can kind of feel the frustration. Oh, it's been good, we had 3 people. Oh, what exactly, what did they say? What was the feedback? Oh, we didn't get any feedback. Oh, really? So you have to know when to drop these things. Oh, really? Like act like that they are doing things wrong. You know, you gotta do it nicely, and you gotta do it smart. But you don't say, oh, well, that's, of course you don't have feedback. You're not listed with a realtor. Wrong approach. You just say, oh, really? You know, nicely. And then just say, okay, no problem. So are there any other changes in the information that you provided me? And see what and then is there anything else I can help you with or anything? Okay, great. And then so you've given them an item of value. You've wanted to see if they've sold it, so you can take it off the inventory list. But when you take that off the inventory list, just because it's sold doesn't mean it's closed. So get that through your heads, guys. a lot of deals fall apart with buy owners. They have no clue. They got the people that go to buy owners are the ones the banks say, oh, you can't get a loan. Or the realtors, just like everybody said, oh yeah, I did the class yesterday, it was funny, they said, oh yeah, I sell buy owners when I have really hard buyers that I can't get through on any other properties. So, this is the deals that they get. From inexperienced realtors that can't get deals through on any other property, so then they bring them to a buy owner with usually horrible deposits, and just because it's a realtor, then it doesn't mean it's closing. So, that's another prime opportunity. You're not going to say that to them, but that's what's going to be in your head. You're going to say, oh, did you sell it yourself, or did a realtor sell it? Oh, okay, great. You sold it yourself. Okay, are they getting a loan, or are they paying cash? Oh, they're getting a loan. And who's the loan officer? Oh, they're going through Bank of America. Okay, then you can take it as, ha ha ha, good luck. Good luck with that one. That's the whole thing. So, and then you go back and say, how's the contract going? Now at this point, you might choose just to follow up on the phone every week till it closes. So that's why just keeping these notes, keeping them clean. Now, does anybody think that this is pretty easy?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is it threatening? It's just a nice way to talk to people and to go. You're not asking them for anything. You want that, they're going to end up coming to you when they're ready. Hopefully. So then, again, we go to the FSBO is not home. What we're going to do, okay, so now we're going back. And now this is when you can, after the first initial visit, after you get the sheet filled out, say that they're not home and you want to drop the package. Then you can leave it there. Do not tape anything to their door. Do not tape anything to anything. Put it underneath the door. You don't want to tape anything on anyone's property because it rips paint off and everything else. You don't need to do that. That you'll be out, So you got to use your head. Just stick it underneath the door. They'll see it when they come home and open it. Then you'll follow up with a phone call and say, oh, hi, just wanted to see if any of the information, I told you I was going to follow up weekly. Has any of the information changed? And, go through the scripts again. Is there anything I can help you with? How'd your week go? Da-da-da-da. Then just say, did you receive my package I gave you on the 100 ways to sell your house or this or that, whatever package you left? Did you receive it? Great. Okay, well, I'll talk to you next week. Good luck. Now, at the point I was telling everybody, which isn't in the training, but just through my knowledge and thinking, but I was thinking about when they say they're not going to pay a commission or they're going to pay 1% or something ridiculous. So now this is how you can reapproach that. This is the perfect way to do it. Instead of saying, oh, well, everybody else pays 3%. Most agents, that's what they would say. You don't want to be like most agents because most agents say all the wrong things. Anytime you become confrontational with people, you're gone. Mm-hmm. If people were confrontational to me, I don't mind being educated, but I don't need someone confronting me. There's nothing worse to me than a confronter. So some people that are just going to sit there and badger me, I would never do business with. So I don't mind being told or not told, but kind of, well, told or shown or explained that I might not be thinking correctly. That's one thing. So a way to reapproach the commission thing, a nice way to reapproach that, is you could say, well, I don't know if you know. I know you said you pay 1% or that you aren't paying. Have you reconsidered paying realtors? And because you know that we can sell anything and get 3% on anything that we have on MLS. Or anything you want to say. I mean, you could say, if I have to do both ends, it's 4.5 or whatever. I mean, some of the agents said, I want to try to get more. That's fine. But the typical buy owner has 3% in their head. So if you say that, say, most people will pay 3%. And I did approach. I had one person I was going to show the house to, but I signed contracts with my buyers because they have to buy through me, and I told them they were going to have to make up the difference and pay more. And they were wondering. They really kind of didn't understand, unfortunately, and they didn't want to pay more because they were on limited funds. So that buyer I had to let go. But I just wanted to keep you informed that I'm trying to present your house. So now, that's a nice way to say it. You've had someone that you could say that you've had somebody that's interested, even though that is a little bit of a white lie. But it's still educating them to do the right thing. Mm-hmm. Where they have to pay 3% if they're not even going to have any cooperation. So I think sometimes stories are okay as long as they're not directly asking you something and you're lying to them. So a story like that would be good. But see, that's a nice way to teach them that, maybe you should consider to pay a realtor or to pay more than 1% or 2% or whatever their dream price is. Okay, so now the follow-up 3. We're going to go back and do the same thing. Now we're going to give the money guide. and we're gonna say the same exact wording. So you're gonna just have to memorize that script. So then again, you're gonna go, if they're not there, you're gonna place it in the envelope at the front door for the second follow-up, and follow up with the phone call. Make sure you can't not follow up, and then you follow up with the thank you note, and the thank you note's in there also. For dialogue, the same exact thing, since you're getting closer, same exact, it's just basically the same exact system. So, and this is visit 4. Weekly follow-up calls, so this is the exact same thing. Are there any changes I should be aware of? Is there anything that I can help you with? How did it go this week first? You know, ask them how it went this week. Let them, because if they've already when they start to have a relationship with you, you're going to start hearing the drama, how the week went. So if you can get them to become drama, that's perfect. Try to let them open up and tell you all the problems, and then you can kind of maybe help them with solutions, and by then they're getting frustrated, trust me. And if you're still around the 8 weeks, they're going to still say, God, I haven't seen another realtor in about 4 weeks. But you know, everything comes down to like what I said at the beginning, the motivation. If there's absolutely no motivation, guys, time to move on. Just because you have a lead doesn't mean anything. So you don't want to be wasting your time. You got to be able to, the biggest difference between people that have a lot of experience and no experience is they know a good lead from a bad lead. So the only thing that separates a good lead from a bad lead is motivation. And that's it. If people are motivated, if somebody's telling you my lease has ended, I need to find a house in 2 months, that's a motivated person. If somebody's saying, well, I'm on month to month, it can happen whenever, I gotta have that perfect house. Let's another realtor waste their time on them and go out and do this. So, I mean, that's just kind of like you're thinking that you all have to have. Closing a FSBO to a listing conversation. Now, these are excellent, and we're going to be getting this in the pricing when we do the pricing. But this is like, these are buying signals. When they start to ask you these things, why hasn't our home sold? Should we drop the price? What should we do? How's the market? Then that's your indication, close, time for the close, time to try to sit down with them and to say, close me please. So when you can feel the sense of their frustration, that's what you want to ask them. Well, let me ask you, would you be offended if I asked you if you would let me just sit down and give you a listing presentation and let you know what I do to sell homes and how I'm so successful? And I probably can save you a lot of time and aggravation and get you, if not more, at least probably what you're going to get out yourself. And let them answer. Don't shut up. And then when they say, yeah, that'll be okay. And then if they say, I'm not really ready, I say, well, then, you know what, there's no commitment. The only thing that can happen is that you might get a couple more ideas to sell your house. You know, you got to know the scripts, guys. So then, you know, that just shows you, like, you got to know when to use them, too. It's not just knowing the scripts, it's know when to use them and know when to pull back on them. The value for value dialogue. So, and then if they ask you, like, what the heck, you know, you've been following up, you've given me all this stuff, like, what's in it for you? Because they're going to start to think that, like, why are you here? Why are you doing all this for me? And then you just tell them, hey, it's called a win-win relationship. I give you some things, and hey, you may end up wanting to list with me, you may know friends, but you'll know one thing, that I do and say what I do what I say and say what I do. So when I told you I'm following up with you, I follow up with you. I do that for my buyers, I do that for my listings, and I do that for everybody, all my clients. So if you know of anybody, I would appreciate you just send them my way, and that's why I'm here. If you don't, oh well, you know, at least I've met you, and you know, maybe down the road you never know how common it is. That's how I would say. And then they have it here too, is sometimes there's just a value in knowing people. That's a nice thing to say too. So, okay, this is basically saying when a FSBO sells on its own, that means follow up more. That's my philosophy. And then these are the for sale by owner notes, and it gives you every single one, and it tells you exactly what to write and every single for sale by owner. So just follow the system to the letter, and it will tell you what to do and what to say. Now this is other things that you can have that's in the package. It's comprehensive dialogue that you can just, like I said, just to know what to say when you're around to get conversations started. If you don't know this, then I would start reading these and start working on them. because basically it says, how long has your home been for sale? Have you received any offers? How many times has it been shown? What feedback are you getting from potential buyers? And you know they're going to say none on that. I hope you all know that, because there's no feedback. That's from realtors. So, but it makes them think, like, am I supposed to be getting feedback? Have any similar homes sold in the area while yours has been on the market? Now, another thing they could do is they could get feedback that's negative feedback. To say, like, and that's a buying sign, by the way. If they say, oh, well, your house seems so much more money than the others, that's just a negotiating tactic to try to get the seller lower. So just so you all know that. Why are you marketing the home? What's the response been? Are there any realtors that shown the home? So what's their feedback been? So there's all kinds of them. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and read all these. You guys can read. So just read through and then kind of know these. These are very important that you memorize these. So, but, you know, go through this package before you go to attempt and just at least know, like, most of these things and what to say, because, I mean, they're very simple dialogue with common sense. Just use a lot of common sense when you're out there on things that you should be asking and testing motivation. So use the close directly after asking the comprehensive pricing question. Do you think the information would be of value to you or help you in your attempts to sell your home? So if you're asking them, this is basically saying that if you want to provide them like with a CMA, I would not drop a CMA off. I would not suggest price because they're not ready for you unless they ask you that. Don't be dropping things off like for price and things like that. That's because if you help them price it low, then they could sell it, you know. Most likely, most for sale by owners are overinflated, they're overpriced. So when they get their information, unless they're smart for sale by owners, what they do is they interview realtors first. Then they get the right price, and then they put it on, and then they usually can save some of the money sometimes if they're lucky. I mean, still they got to find the good buyers and be able to negotiate. But that's what they do. They call us out, and then that's why one of the questions where you always ask somebody, are you going to be interviewing agents, and then you're going to be trying it on your own. You always ask those two things because you got to know the shot before you get there. And then if you know the shot, you can come and you can combat that in your presentation. But anyway, so, you know, with this, that you want to make sure that, you know, you're having this conversation about price when you're doing a listing presentation. I don't mind doing that, but you have to get something for that. I feel that you can't just give them staging things, and you don't do all that. You know, we're giving them things that are helping them to a certain point, but you don't teach them how to stage, you don't teach them how to price. I mean, that's your job, that's what you get paid for. That's where your expertise is, because you've got expertise in, because you've seen all the properties. It's easy for you to go out, you know the comparables better than anybody. Even if you've been in this business for 5 months, I mean, you know better than the public. So that's one good thing you got to have in your head, that even when you're nervous and you're starting out, you know better than everybody else. So basically, work in a FSBO as a buyer. Now this is another thing when you're in there, you can ask them where they're moving. You can start sending them properties. Start to adapt them and take them as your buyer. Because if they're staying local or if they're leaving and to go up to Reno, I said, why don't I get you some initial properties? Have a top agent up there try to get some areas for you where you're moving. And if they say no, you know, I say, okay, no problem, you already have a realtor? Okay, I just thought I'd help you if I could. So, you know, then you get a referral for that. So, or if they're working as a buyer, you know, they might like you and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to definitely use you to buy. And then you'll probably end up getting, if you can find them a house, or if they can buy first, sometimes they may even be able to buy first. Now, this is when are you willing to pay me a commission if I bring you a buyer? Now, like I said, you don't let them see you sweat on this. So you just got to try to educate them the best that they can. I'm telling you right now, most of them say, yeah, I'll pay you 3%. It's a script. I mean, it's the script that they have in their heads. And if they don't say that right away, then that's what they adapt to because somebody's told them, because the other realtors have said, well, you should pay 3% because that's what the other realtors are doing. You know, that's how realtors approach people. And that's why they don't like a lot of us. So I don't want you to ever have an attitude. Don't let them, just if they say no, just say, put on the top of the inventory sheet, will not pay commission. So then you can call them and say, it says here that you will not pay me. Has anything changed with that? So are you willing to cooperate with realtors? See, it gives you leads in for the next visits because they're not going to be ready at that point. So use your head like when you think that they're going to be ready. So this is the tracking sheet. Now this is very, 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 very important. So if you start to do this, you want to start to track on how many attempts I made. So say that you had to do 5 attempts to get 2 people that you've actually talked to for the first week. That you want to have how many people that you attempted to go knock on their door. how many people that you actually visited, how many listing appointments or how many sets that you went in, it's not even listing appointments, if you get into the house, I would count that, and how many meetings, how many times you've met with them, like how many times did it take you to go back, and then how many listings that you procured. And what this does, it kind of shows you, hey, I need to become better. So you might have to work on some of your techniques. That's why tracking is so important. Because I know that people don't do it. It's very rare. I mean, it's hard to find realtors that do it, but it's very, very important. If you've been through any kind of coaching, they're all going to make you track numbers. And so you might as well, instead of paying, and it costs anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a month, bring the numbers to me. Make yourself. All that does is make you accountable. I mean, you have to pay $500 to $1,000. Give me your numbers. If you tell me I need you to be on me, I'll be on you. I mean, just let me know what you need to do. But, why pay for it? Because I can do it probably better than who you're going to pay. But you got to bring me in on your life. You got to let me know what you want, what you're doing, and how you want to improve. And I can help you in those areas. So basically, this is what I just said. The attempt is a door knock or phone call. You can't send letters. None of that works. Visit is going to be a face-to-face tour of the home, not phone call. Set is going to when you set a listing meeting. Meetings are the face-to-face listing conversations that you have with expired seller, not phone presentation. They're supposed to be FSBO. Listing signed to execute a listing agreement is what that is, not a promise. That doesn't count. If they say, I'm going to list with you, not until it's signed. And that's it, guys. I hope you guys can use this information. And I hope you all learned something from this today.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I wish you all success.